Welcome to the finale of Panzer Dragoon.
So,
It's been a fun ride.
So, is it bad that we kind of got to the point where we were talking about indie games over this game? Though I guess we could in some way consider this game
this is
kind of an
technically an
indie
game.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We technically weren't that off topic, but
Although I was saying, you know what indie game that got praised because of for what it wasn't rather than what it was? What? Freedom Planet.
Oh.
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
Doesn't Freedom Planet have its own issues?
I mean, I like Freedom Planet, but I won't deny that was an issue around the time with them.
Jova, I'm tempted to say that game actually is kind of bad.
No,
Wait, Lilac's story is good, but Carol's is actually not that good, especially like there's some parts where
we're talking about the story, but we're talking about the gameplay, because let me tell you that as someone who can't normally play classic Sonic gameplay because I think it's too slippery for my taste, Freedom Planet fits much better for my taste.
But it's not a Sonic game.
That's interesting you say that. I was live streaming Freedom Planet, and I think it was Paige or Pixie were watching it with me, and it was most fun just to see me try and do a spin and roll, even though it wasn't a Sonic game.
Okay,
I will agree with you when it comes to the story, because the story it feels very internet fanfic in the way it's written.
Alright, Pixie did work on that. Sorry, Pixie.
Okay.
Pixie was only an artist. She didn't write any of that.
Well,
I didn't have any particular problems with it.
Well, okay.
Maybe with this new game, the one where they have professionals do some of the writing and voice work, maybe it'll be a bit better.
Anyway, to be fair, I do get where Dej is coming from. I actually wasn't going to argue with you on that, Dej. With Carol's story seems to mainly amount to, oh my god, I'm a loner. I don't want to risk my own skin.
I was talking about their campaigns, not really the plot themselves. So it was like her gameplay kind of feels like it was a neat idea, but it wasn't fleshed out as well as they had hoped.
Well, it's like I said, her campaign kind of boils down to, oh, she's totally not going to come back to help you. She's totally not going to come back to help you. She's coming back to help you.
So it's like Captain Hook in Pan.
Well, more like Catwoman in Dark Knight Rises, but yeah.
Well, that's the most recent example, and it was from a fun movie.
Although, funnily enough, Carol does also ride a motorcycle. And I'll admit, I do dig the motorcycle gameplay in Freedom Planet.
But anyway, back to this game. We're near the end of the game.
We're near the end game, you would say?
Actually, that's a good question, Pedro. Remind me again, because again, the footage that you showed me was for a long time ago. That level that you showed me with the ruins and the rain, is it from Zwei?
No, I don't think it is. I don't think I showed you Zwei, did I?
No, you did show me a distinctly some gameplay footage of the original game, one of the two original games, where there's distinct level where you're running through, like, during the night, where it's raining, and on the borders there's some, like, stone elements with...
okay, that's the opening level of Zwei, yes.
Okay, because I was a bit confused. I'm like, okay, sure, they changed something about the car and lighting, but I haven't seen yet the level that I remember seeing.
No, that was Zwei.
Okay.
Pew pew. So, but
although this might be a bit annoying on my part, but I kind of hope that Nintendo kind of does this with Star Fox. Just if no one wants to make it just licensing out.
Actually, that's a good question.
They kind of did that with Ubisoft, I guess, if we count Starlink.
Actually, that's a question. Still tied to the gameplay. You told me about Reticule. How do you turn the screens?
You can either use the right analog stick or you can use the shoulder buttons.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, again the rival.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yep, here it is. It's Virgil.
So, Deds. So Deds, if I do get this correctly, I think one of your issues with this game is the lack of story emphasis. In the sense
it's just I feel the gameplay isn't as strong as I wanted it to be.
So do you feel
especially
like...
with the whole.
So would you say it's mainly just the gameplay, or do you also feel like having a better story would have helped even
It's
it out
mostly
for you?
the gameplay.
Fair enough.
You have to remember, Jova, that at the end of the day, this is still technically a shooter, and shooter like these tend to manage to work, even without a story if the gameplay is decent enough. Like say, Gradius.
The story is pretty much integrated in the gameplay. That's why I like Star Fox 64 and
Super
Sin and
Dragon.
Punishment. Because there's some dialogue, and it's like the levels themselves do tell a story. It's like you have to escape, or the enemies are after you. That's fine. That's all. That's kind of all I need for that.
So is this the final boss?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sure.
Also, out of curiosity, I checked in between parts the trophy list for the PS4 version, which is the one that I'm planning to get eventually. Apparently, there's a possibility of you finishing a level without having to defeat the boss.
Yes.
What?
Yep.
Like, how does that even work? Does the boss self-destruct?
It's a means of basically... Oh, go on, Pedro.
Basically, there actually is kind of an invisible timer of sorts. Eventually things just dial down and the boss can basically go away. Basically.
I guess you can consider it a self-challenge. Like, if you want to focus more on evading the projectiles, you can do that, and
It's more baffling the fact that the trophy itself is a reference to Leroy Jenkins, so I was expecting something like, what, you're supposed to charge in and the boss just goes away, or something?
No, Tio, this isn't Echo the Dolphin.
Echo the Dolphin?
Oh god, what if Sega brought that
Oh
series
right,
back?
that's what happens with the Mother Alien Queen.
It's also about how you
how would you
constantly
feel
have to
if Sega
ram
brought it
things. Okay, you know what? If they can make it... Okay, if they have it so that it's good, I'm fine with them bringing it back. That said, if it's like... that terrible 3D game...
What's that, Defender of the Future?
Oh, Echo 3D on the Dreamcast?
I think it was Defenders of the Realm or something?
No, Defenders of the Realm is a Mortal Kombat cartoon, Jova. Okay, the
It
subtitles
was
that I
Echo the
remember are
Dolphin,
Tides of...
Defender or something.
No, it's Defender of the Future, I think, because the other
Yes,
is Tides of
Defender of
Time,
the
which is the
Future.
second game.
Oh, okay. Tides of Time is easily the best Echo game.
So now
there
what?
is.
Oh, it just runs away.
It just dies.
Well,
We did
just
it, boys.
decide to
Save
drop.
We
the
did
world.
it, boys! We showed him with the power of synergy.
So was that the final boss?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, okay, you can see why people are kind of
You get the
Okay.
not.
it's one of those things about this game too. It gets the like, as you would say, the game kind of runs out of steam by the end.
Again. Okay.
Oh
Now, back
no,
when
actually, I was fearing that the game was just ending like that, but at least we're getting
Oh,
a
no.
cutscene.
No, this would be the final FMV. Yeah.
We've made it to the
Yeah.
promised land.
Oh shit.
Ryder? You still on my back there? I'm gonna assume you're still there, Ryder.
Also, I just realized the shooting comes from your pistol? Just your pistol?
But it comes from both the pistol and the wyvern.
Yep.
Oh, again, that's why it was cool. I thought, okay, it's the dragon shooting and everything, but no, it looked like you were just using your pistol.
It's both. Like if you're doing a single shot, it's you. But if you're doing the lock on, it's
Okay.
the wyvern.
And you get awakened like this. So the dragon sacrificed himself for destroying the unit.
Well, well, yep. They don't actually show it, but it is implied. Yeah.
But wait, maybe there are more.
What is this? The ending of Man of Steel?
They all lived happily ever after.
Don't you-
Wow! I just heard.
Don't you see, Tio? The true treasure was the dragon's friends we
And
made
we
all the way.
when we shot along the way.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
But
Oh,
now let's show you
okay.
all the artwork we made.
that's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do
So,
get
final
why.
thoughts?
Who wants to go first?
Dwebs, you go first.
Ibs?
They're just taking a vow of silence.
Oh, okay. Tio, you go first.
Sure. Okay, again, I don't have the full context yet, aside from the little that I knew before watching this. But I have to be honest, this is pretty fun on its own, especially since it's sold at a relatively cheaper base price. I guess, yes, it could have been probably better, you know. But I guess the door can still be left open for the future, and I can understand the kind of passion that this small team actually went behind for the game itself, regardless of which version. I like the music, I like the aesthetics, I like kind of the lore. This is the one game that I wish to know the more. This is clearly inspired by stuff like, say, Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind, but also products like, again, fantasy stuff from the 70s and 80s. In general, as a whole, I get a lot of vibes from old school D&D illustrations. The gameplay is perfectly serviceable. I've seen shooters like these and they work just fine, you know. So yeah, overall, it's a pretty neat package. Again, yes, I guess for a veteran fan, it's a bit disappointing because it should have been a bit better, treated with more care and everything, and I can see where that is coming from. But for a new introduction for newcomers, seems pretty nifty without having to, you know, necessarily tone down the actual challenge factor of the game. I guess the easy mode and the gyro controls are there to help you, but it's not like an insta-win battle for that front. You still have to work your way out, so that's pretty neat. So yeah, again, I'll get this game eventually on my own. So,
and if you do, I recommend getting it when it's on sale.
Well, obviously that's what I'm doing mostly these days anyway, for any stuff. But no, it's pretty neat, honestly, and I'm glad that Sega allowed this to happen anyway. Next,
Pedro.
It's fine. It's fine for what it is. It's just like I get. It's just that, you know, it doesn't have the, like Theo said, like it's not the grand remake that fans would dream of or anything. But yeah, I guess this is as good as it's gonna get considering the current circumstances of everything. Especially considering Panzer Dragoon is not really, never was actually, even back in the 90s, it was never a hot seller. So I don't.
Well, from what I know, this franchise is like super popular in Japan.
It was, but even today too, it kind of winded down. Like
sure.
People just moved on, you know.
Sure.
The ending. Well,
Go on, Pedro.
it's no, but yeah, it's fine for what it is. I don't like some aspects, like how for some reason maps the reticle to the D-pad. That doesn't make any sense to me. And the art style, while fine on its own, I still think could have been a bit more faithful to the color palette of the original. But it's still an overall fine enough effort. But I guess I can't be too demanding, considering, I mean, this was probably as good as it was ever gonna get anyway. So whatever. So yeah, like I said, as far as the remake, it's fine. The game itself, Panzer Dragoon, it's a really good arcade shooter for its time. Although, yeah, it is true that this remake should have applied some more quality of life changes, because we're not in the mid-90s anymore. And yeah, it's, cause there are some aspects in here that should have gotten some work done. But yeah, at least it's something Panzer Dragoon related that's happening. I guess just that alone is kind of enough. Hopeful. I mean, maybe maybe we'll ever get a Saga remake. I don't know. Probably not, considering that remake would actually require a bigger budget than these. But so I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
So yeah, my first
Go ahead.
commentary for this channel, and it's of a decent game, but nothing really more than that. I mean, it's probably not something I'd play, but I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I've played these kinds of games before, you know, on stuff like arcades. I mean, graphically, I think it looks fine. I mean, I don't think it's pushing the consoles to its limits or anything, but it's not but it's not this. It's not this
Switch.
grotesque hunk of shit that some people say it is. But again, it's just fine. Who knows? Maybe Panzer Dragoon 2 or 2 Zwei or whatever it's called is better. Oh, it's pronounced Zwei.
Dre.
It's German.
Zwei, Jova. It's
Ladies and gentlemen,
German.
It's Zwei.
Dwibs,
Yep.
Tio, and Pedro teach German.
Whatever.
Oh, look, the Europeans teach the American English.
It's,
Shocker.
it's irrelevant. Moving on.
That's
just
it's
moving on.
German, not English.
Yep, done.
You done, Whips? Go ahead, Joe.
Alright, Joe, you go. Since I know you probably have a lot to say.
It's a good game. It's fine. It's nothing spectacular. But it's inoffensive. I feel like they did what they could. And yeah, while the bloom can get a bit annoying, I still do feel like it's just as good the game as it was back then. So, mission accomplished. And hey, there's the sequel coming, so that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Sorry,
Bitch.
I wasn't able to fulfill your expectations of having a rousing.
So, Jova, did you just subverted our expectations?
Shut the
Suppose
no more
I
of
just did.
No more. I'm tired of subversiveness.
Alright, Dej, go ahead.
This game is fine. Nothing special. It's like, I'm happy that fans of the franchise got what they wanted, but I understand that they were disappointed and wanted more of it. Like Pedro said, it should have been the first two games combined into one. But yeah, I guess I like on-rail shooters since I love Star Fox 64, and my favorite one is the first Sin and Punishment. But this kind of feels, It's also weird because I do remember people saying that this was one of the best games on the Saturn, so I had some high expectations for it.
Well, remember, what was great back on the Saturn can still be great, but does have a lot more competition from modern games these days.
Nice. Well, yes, of course.
It was a lot more impressive back then because Panzer Dragoon, when it came out on the Saturn, it was a technical showcase for the system. It looked amazing for its time. So it's one of those cases where the game was very, like, in terms of actual gameplay, it wasn't anything groundbreaking, but in terms of, like, at the time, it was something completely mind-blowing on the technical aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, but yeah. Better luck next time, and I do hope that Sega continues licensing out their IPs to other studios because a lot of people are satisfied, and it's a note that I hope other companies do take from in the future. But in the meanwhile, thank you guys for being on the channel, and tune in next time for whatever I have recorded. I don't know. I'm kind of running.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.
See you next time.